they sang a song. Hand they shake, leg they shake. Papa we not well. If they shout a Milo con. Papa we not well. If they shout a Milo con. Hand they shake, leg they shake. Papa we not well. If they shout a Milo con.
Only because you are a noble laureate. See, Esa, Agbaman Toleni, sir. Let me speak to you in Yoruba, in the language you understand most. Professor Wole Soyinka, Daleru.
At the time that our currency is hopelessly depreciating and so many other issues, what is Wole Soyinka? I beg you for the last time, let's move away from this man.
Okay, let's move.
Hello everybody, welcome back to Plan B TV News. Professor Wole Soyinka regretted ever making this statement against Peter Obi and his supporters, which are the Obedience. Just recently, Professor Wole Soyinka was saying on the interview whereby he was asked about Peter Obi. He decided to ridicule Peter Obi and his supporters, calling all the obedient, blind men and all of that. He called them, shout some kinds of names that triggered the whole social media. You know the Obedience. Obedience are those Nigerians that want the betterment of the country. And those are the resilience and the patriotic Nigerians that want the betterment of that nation. When they watched the interview of Professor Wole Soyinka, he did sit down with them. But I want you guys to watch this particular videos of the Arise TV News. Of that of the Arise TV News, analyze the issues. We'll be right back to give you some other details on how the Obedience and the Peter Obi himself, how they responded. Let's watch this particular videos of Arise TV News. We'll be right back.
Nobel laureate Wole Soyinka has yet again questioned the leadership potential of Labour Party presidential candidate Peter Obi, stating in a recent interview that he is unfit to govern Nigeria. Soyinka cited the conduct of his supporters, known as the Obedience, during the 2023 election campaign as a disqualifying factor. Let's take a look.
What do you think of the person, Mr. Peter Obi? What do you think? How do you think he can make it right? Do you think, what mistakes do you think he made, and do you think he has a chance in the next election?
Well, I hope for the sake of the nation that he doesn't express interest in the next election. Because for me as a leader, if there was any proof that he was unfit to lead that country, it's in the conduct which he encouraged among his followers. I know for a fact, and I can give you an instance which proves that he was in control of those forces.
Can you please, what's the instance, Prof?
Well, simply because when he first came to visit me, you know, he did come at one time.
That's correct.
Somebody brought him. And I watched him. I watched his action, his body language. It seemed to be very conciliatory. Because when he first came to visit me, I remember the moment when he took out his computers, something, and after he made a statement like, "Oh, don't worry, everything, you know, will be taken care of. You don't have anything to worry about these people." He was talking about the quote-unquote obedience. I remember he took out his computer, his phone, and he tapped, you know, a message, you know, there. And he shot me. I was watching him very closely. I didn't say a thing. And after that, everything seemed to be, you know, to be nice and cozy.
All right. Professor Wole Soyinka, Nobel laureate. The last time he called Peter Obi Bajue. Remember that? Well, all right, you know. Reactions will definitely trail this. Let us take this tweet from Distinguished, who wrote, "This was Soyinka in 2024. After almost 8 months of Tinubu, I don't criticize heads of state till after a year. So he went to Aso Rock to give Tinubu 7 points agenda. But he can criticize Peter Obi, who isn't in Aso Rock. These are the elders we should respect." Daniel Rega wrote, "Wole Soyinka is entitled to his opinion about Peter Obi and the Labour Party. But I'm yet to see him criticize the present government or those currently in power, which speaks volumes for someone who's highly respected. His bias is glaring for all to see. With his voice, he can help start serious conversations. I mean, yes, that is true. He with his voice, definitely can start serious conversations. But that's not the only thing, Wole Soyinka talked about during that interview. He expected to hear from a leader like Wole Soyinka.
One thing has to be said. I would like to ask Professor Wole Soyinka and other people, what is this thing about Obi? That means there's something, a goal you people see in this Obi. Because this man did not win elections. And after not winning elections, he's gone about conducting himself, doing his charity, but he's still the main point of conversation. Mm-hmm. So, kini gan pa Obi?
What does that mean?
Kini ni pato ni pa Obi? Because this man, he came to visit you. Afterwards, we all know how the visit went into a big hula baloo. I don't want to talk more about that visit because I was very privy to a lot of things that happened in that visit, and I don't want to talk, for the sake of privacy. But afterward, he went that way, and you keep indicting him as regards to the conduct of obedience, which are young people that have a right to react. What about the people that, did ethnic strife? What about the people that carried Oro in elections in Lagos? Professor Wole Soyinka has not said anything about that. What about people that were beaten? Professor Wole Soyinka has not said anything about. What about people in Ikota that were beaten? All of a sudden, Oro came out because of election. He's not said anything about that. But this thing is always about constantly Obi. And when we ask him to comment about the current president, he said, don't comment after 1 year. Now it's 1 year. Now he should comment. He will not still comment. So what is this thing really? Kini oro Obi yi ni pato? I'm asking, the same man you went a couple of months, you went to call them Badjue and all sorts of,
yeah.
And you think people will not, and when they react to him now,
don't forget that.
You call them fascists and things like that. And this was an election that you only had one side of the story, you were not full privy to.
Yes, but
and there are many things that you should know because Professor Wole is 90 already.
Yeah.
But will not stop respecting him for the role he plays. I dove my heart for him because when it was time to stand tall, he stood tall in this country, and I say we have a lot of respect for him, but there are some things we say that would disagree. Yeah. We can respect you and disagree with you.
Yes.
So I disagree with him on this.
Yes, I actually, liked those tweets because, May 29, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, 1 year in office. I'd love to hear from him as well regarding, we can't wait. May 29th is coming. We hope that he says something about this current administration because it would definitely speak volumes, especially given the fact that he's constantly criticizing the strong opposition.
I'm one to lean towards revising what did Peter Obi do, because remember he didn't even come second according to INEC. Yeah. He came third. So what to do about the fact that but let me say that Professor Wole Soyinka is a well-respected elder statesman. His contributions to Nigeria, not just locally, internationally, putting Nigeria on the global map with his writings and other things, is one to be certainly celebrated. However, I think in fairness, in him being fair as an elder statesman, it would be good for him to speak in a way that is objective and across board. Professor Wole Soyinka is from Ogun State, the southwest part of Nigeria. And this is the southwest part of Nigeria, particularly in Lagos State, where we saw an election that was driven largely by, to a very large extent, let me not say largely, but significantly by ethnic slurs and ethnic divisions. And I didn't see him come out to condemn those things in very strong terms, because he ought to be proud of his own heritage, being a Yoruba man himself, and to say, no, we're not going to stand for that. Nigeria cannot survive being divided. Oji, we saw on TV where someone came and talked about Yachukudi. And talked about the fact that, they were going to, if people were told not to come and vote if they looked a certain type of way. I would have expected him to also use the same energy to speak about that. We see vitriol online, not just from the obedience he talks about, but also people who come out to say that, even people in government. Just check on YouTube.
They call me Omuale Yoruba.
Just check on YouTube, the comments. It is saddening to see that we've descended to such a level in Nigeria where the only thing we can use as an attack is the way you come from, where you are, your heritage, and that's why we talk about this whole unity in diversity. So I would expect that he should be promoting the unity of the Nigerian people, and that's why I'm glad. Obedience, let me not lie, this obedient movement, even though it's couched under the name, calling from Mr. Peter Obi, are young Nigerians who are tired of the way Nigeria is. And so they've come out very strongly to speak against it. And to be honest, for a number of them, they saw something different in Mr. Peter Obi, a new hope, a deviation from the normal. And that's why a lot of people were willing and able to stake their lives, in quote, to support him. So it's not because he forced people or he's acting. In fact, if I would say anything, Mr. Peter Obi has conducted himself very well in the course of this and condemned actions in certain times when it came down to it. So I do believe that he should be fair and should be more in support of
you know, the idea really is that the Obedience are just young Nigerians that are looking for a new wave of good governance. So they are not just supporters of Peter Obi. They really are supporters of Nigeria, wanting good governance for Nigeria.
Now, you have watched this particular video. Me, I have much to say, but I just want to wait to the end of this video whereby I will give my 2 cents about it. But I want you guys to also watch this particular videos of the Labour Party spokesperson, what he said to tackle the professor who came out to ridicule the obedience of Nigeria. So I want you guys to watch what he said about Professor Wole Soyinka. We'll be right back to do some messages into the video.
Hello, my name is Ife Salako, and I'm making this video in direct response to what Professor Wole Soyinka said about His Excellency Mr. Peter Obi, hoping that he shouldn't vie for presidency come 2027, and his reason being that the obedient lacks good conduct, that we which I am one of them, we the obedient, we don't conduct ourselves properly. And you know, to start with, sir, what you said doesn't make any sense to start with, because the obedient are not literally going to run government if when Peter Obi becomes president. But let's even assume that it is about the followers, because that's what you kept on hammering on. The followers of Peter Obi, they lack good conduct, they are rude, they are fascist, whatever you want to call us, right? But the man that you are supporting, the people that are supporting him, they are murderers, they are drug dealers, they are thugs everywhere. They are literally, they are constituting daily nuisance across the country, the person you are supporting. But you have the, you know, apparently because you are a Nobel laureate. See, Esa, Agbaman Toleni, sir. Let me speak to you in Yoruba, in the language you understand most. Agbaman Toleni, Agbatinyo Tole, Professor Wole Soyinka, and Daleru. And you should actually just, at your age, at 89, people should come to you. You should be where they come to for advice, for resolution of conflict, not the one causing conflict. Professor Wole Soyinka, you shouldn't be causing conflict in this country at your age. Let's even go by what you have caused in this country. The cultism that you started in Nigeria is still going there, causing problem. Young boys are sick themselves. Or should we talk about when you went to use gun to waylay them at a radio station? Or because you are not satisfied with the government? And it is you now that is coming out to call some people different names. Esa, ejeka gbayin tole sir, Professor Wole Soyinka sir. Ejeka gbayin tole. If it is bad Nigeria, you don't have a future in this country. We have a future in this country. You are 89. You have lived your time. The country is in disarray. Businesses are shutting down. Over 700 businesses gone. People are hungry. Inflation is over the roof. 2 days ago, the central bank still raised credit to 2 point something to 26 point something %. And all you care about, not to even talk of exchange rates, but all you care about is Peter Obi not contesting in 2027. Esa, Eleka Bayin Tole, Emma da Nigeria do beche baje ilo. Hello, see me.
Now, you listen to what he said. Me, I was still pumping up, warming up, jogging to respond to Professor Wole Soyinka. Then I see Babadati Ahmed, that of the former vice president of the Labour Party candidate. So he also came out to tackle what Professor Wole Soyinka said. Sir, this time around, he didn't just go in a smooth mood. He decided to go in a furious way to tackle word to word and what Professor Wole Soyinka said about the obedience, and listen to what Babadati Ahmed, the vice president of the Labour Party presidential candidate of the 2023 elections. I want you guys to listen to what he said. We'll be right back.
So Professor Soyinka delivers a punch to Peter Obi. What's your reaction to that?
The learned elder statesman, Professor Wole Soyinka, he is scared in advance about what what good Peter Obi will bring to Nigeria. He's scared in advance that the end is still looking very likely for his principle, for bad governance. And what Soyinka is doing now is an attempted distraction, which I beg you to excuse me from joining issues with Wole Soyinka, please. You and I have much, much better things to do. For all I know, he could continue to throw punches at my principal, at me, as small as I am. He could continue to do that. All I can do, I will grieve in my heart, I will pray for him. You see, intellect does not give you the right to insult anybody. I remember this Soyinka insulting late General Abacha, insulting him to the core, that he was daft, he was that. Nothing gives him the right to do that. He had no right. Abacha was not an academic. He was a soldier, for God's sake, and a good one for that matter, in his own way, in his own right. I beg you, let us please put Soyinka and his likes aside. We have better things to talk about.
We'll have enough time to talk about a lot of things, and I do respect your wishes there, but I have to ask you whether you think he has a point when he says that by not controlling, or at least trying to control, the online trolls responsible for the insults directed at him, Mr. B, and by extension yourself, are tacitly encouraging such behavior.
As a partial academic, let me tell you that Nobel laureates all over the world are loved and cherished by their people, not just their nationals, globally. I have never heard where Nobel laureates are insulted in the manner that Wole Soyinka is. You're making me to speak about him, I don't want to. Now, go back. Nigerians contested through Peter Obi and me. We said this many, many times. It was a force that came alive, a genuine one, a powerful one, that won election and was taken away. Never mind what INEC declared. There is no way Peter Obi, with all the issues in front of him, and my humble self, can control obedience as they were. Peter Obi entered a canoe without a life jacket, and he paid for it. So it is not the work of Peter Obi to control the obedience. It is the responsibility of Wole Soyinka to maintain his respect and dignity. I could say a few things to Wole Soyinka that will destroy him for good, but I wouldn't say that. Only 3 days ago, I saw, the whole world saw his own principal. I'm not here to call names. I wish I could finish this interview. We saw the ongoing president of Nigeria almost kneeling to greet an elder statesman, while people like Soyinka are out there insulting others. So in the heat, in the presence of all the politics and dynamics and everything, decent Nigerians should continue to offer respect to others. You know, I said it before, the ongoing president Even though I do not agree with everything about him, whenever I call him uncle, he laughs, I laugh, and we walk away. Why start insulting people? People like me, we describe, we give objective assessment, and they say we insult. And we don't. It's not our history. It's not our upbringing. Never insulted anybody. But why should a Nobel laureate make it because he knows how to speak English? 1960s and 1970s English? I think all he is trying to do is an attempted distraction, which Peter Obi and myself have excused ourselves. We will not react to that Nobel laureate. He should please go and see how other Nobel laureates are respecting themselves, holding the honor all over the world. Charles, let's move away from this man.
Well, nevertheless, just one more thing on that, because you have talked about the fact that, you know, you don't insult people.
Yeah, I don't.
And he says that the obedience have consistently been insulting him. Do you think he deserves an apology? Since to a large extent those people,
can I ask you a question?
Those people are your followers.
Look,
I mean, do you think he deserves an apology, or you wouldn't go that far?
What is, not who is, what is Wole Soyinka? At a time that the Nigerian armed forces have been killing hundreds of Nigerians by mistake, at the time that our currency is hopelessly depreciating, and so many other issues. What is Wole Soyinka? I beg you for the last time, let's move away from this man.
Okay, let's move.
Now, as a Nigerian, let's rub mind to mind and let's decide to talk about this. Me personally, after listening to what this guy said, I felt like I have much to say before, but I decided to keep it within myself because they have said much. Professor Wole Soyinka, who seems to be more active when Goodluck Ebele Jonathan was, you saw him in the front run, carrying caskets, protesting 24 hours. Immediately, APC took over, which is under President Buhari. This man decided to become mute. Automatically was dormant. Nobody saw him anymore. He didn't talk. Even during the time of NSAS, what he was protesting against then, fuel price under Goodluck when he was protesting was just, I think it was about 115 naira then. Then he was protesting because the fuel price went from 18 naira to 120 naira. When Buhari took over office, fuel price left from 150 or 18 naira to 250 naira. This man, old man like this, did not say anything. We did not hear from him. This same man now, from fuel of 200 to 250 naira, went automatically skyrocketed to 600. 600 naira for fuel price now. Now, bag of rice from under Goodluck was, I think, 20,000. Under President Buhari, it was 45,000, which is 38 to 45,000. Under, which is the current president, Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu, is 80,000. This same old man, who you up to be looking at, okay, and the older they get, the wiser they become, did not say anything. But the biggest challenge is still Peter Obi. That is my problem with him. Now, the price of everything he was protesting against during Goodluck is 3 times, I mean 4 times more than the price then. But this man is not saying anything. All his biggest problem now is still Peter Obi. But it's just a point of me saying that this particular man is bigotry. It's not just bigotry. This man is full of ethnicity stereotyping. That English is too much for him. And let me take it one by one. This man is stereotyping, ethnic bigotry, and tribalism. And this man, I don't know what to call him because it's just full definition of what he appears to be. He's supposed to be Nobel Lawrence, like he's a professor. But it happened to be that not all gray hair that grows from a old man actually means wiseness. But this man just proved to the Nigerian that I don't know what, let me just respect its age. In the first interview, when they interviewed him last year, he came out furiously. They were asking him big. he was talking about Peter B is this. It happened to be like he's so much afraid of the Igbo and they don't want them to strive.
I am your friend, Dr. Charles Apoki. Professor Wole Soyinka goofed. He misfired when he said that His Excellency Peter Obi is not qualified to rule Nigeria because his team is incompetent. I respect him as a Nobel laureate, but he is living in the past. According to Dati Baba Ahmed, that speaking English of the 1960s is not relevant in this generation. Point number one, I did videos in the time past that this generation will question everything and question any person. This generation, the Bible says, do not touch my anointed and do my prophet no harm. Touch is T-O-U-C-H in that place. But this generation, they can T-O-R-C-H the anointed, burn the anointed, and do him harm, and disgrace him. They don't fear any person because they've been pushed to the wall. They've been frustrated by the inadequacies and stupidity of my generation. So they don't have respect for any of us. So when you think that you are Wole Soyinka, you are a Nobel laureate, you are one person, you are bishop this, archbishop this, pastor this generation is disappointed in religion, elders, disappointed in the politicians of my era and behind. So don't sit in a pedestal and think that you're a superstar. They will pull you down and tear you to shreds. We messed up. Point number two. Wole Soyinka should come to the political podium with clean hands. He led a mob against Goodluck Jonathan that carried a coffin with Goodluck Jonathan's effigy in it. That contributed a great deal to the depression that Goodluck Jonathan's mother suffered and died. To see your son's coffin, Professor Wole Soyinka and some prominent religious leaders who are now quiet were in the forefront of that push against Goodluck Jonathan. And so he has no moral justification to condemn any person for insulting or abusing him or dragging him. This generation has seen what my generation has done. Point number three. Professor Wole Soyinka is the founder of the Pirates Confraternity. I happen to have classmates, friends, neighbors, and associates in that confraternity. I have spoken in their Barracuda feasts. I've done lectures for them in my office via Skype or whatever, Zoom, to his deck in the United States in New York. The Pirates Confraternity stood for injustice, stood against corruption, and stood for the development of humanity and excellence. I remember when they used to donate blood and cook for us when the workers were on strike. They would cook, they would run the kitchen, they would control traffic and do so many humanitarian gestures. But recently, they sang a song. And they shake, like they shake. Papa, we know where. Papa, we know where. If they shout a Milo con, that's against President Bola Tinubu, a former governor, a former NEDECO leader. Your Pirates Confraternity sang that song. And another one with the Bala Blue song. What did you say? Did that disqualify you, Professor Wole Soyinka, from heading an organization if you are appointed? Would that disqualify you? I ask another question. Prof, I'm lawyer, sir. The Pirates Confraternity you formed, how much control do you have over the activities? You formed that. Peter Obi did not form the obedient movement. Peter Obi, if you are preparing a salt solution in the lab, if you want to crystallize salt from it, you just take a grain of salt and put it inside. Order the salt in the solution, maybe like potassium chloride or whatever, will start crystallizing around that salt. It's like the way pearls are formed in oysters. A grain, and then the oyster will start secreting pearly material around it. People crystallized around Peter Obi, people who were tired of the corruption, of the backwardness of our nation, the things you fought for this country to become, are being desecrated. Those are the people who crystallized around Peter Obi. So, will somebody have disqualified you from winning the Nobel Prize because out of Pirates Confraternity, Buccaneers, Eye, Black Axe, and other ones, Vikings, derived their motivation, and then the cult wars and whatever we are having in this country, would it be ascribable to you and prevent you from winning the Nobel Prize? Prof, sometimes we need to reason, we need to think. Prof, sir, I think you misfired. You are out of touch with reality. You have eaten something that is preventing you from speaking well. Sometimes when you pack too much pepper fruit inside your mouth, you find it difficult to speak well. I think you benefited from Tinubu one way or the other, either through sponsorship or relationship, because I find it difficult to believe that you are a tribal bigot, that you have degenerated to that level. I believe you misfired. Prof, this generation, social media, they abuse any person. Social media is a public toilet. If you can't bear the stench, behave like Tinubu that does not watch social media. And you must be very careful what you comment and what you say. Prof, you misfired. You tried in the time past. Your time has passed. Enjoy your retirement. Even me talking, I'm extremely careful, because what is coming up next is not just the anger of abuse. When these Nigerians, these poor Nigerians, are pushed to the wall, they will fight back. Remember the way they looted warehouses filled with palliatives. What is coming up next, if this country does not improve in the next 3 years, is going to be more than, let's leave it. But I remain your friend, Dr. Charles Apoki.
I want to leave this video here. As a Nigerian, I want you guys to comment your thoughts. What do you think about Wole Soyinka? What do you think about his age? They said he's about 89 now, or 80-something years old. What do you think about what he's saying at his age? Do you think maybe his old days is affecting his brain? Or do you just think he's just being gullible? Or do you just think it's not just because he's gullible, maybe talk out of sense? Maybe it's just really tribalism that is worrying him right now. What do you think about him? Thereafter, what do you think about what the Arise TV News said? What do you think about the Labour Party spokesperson, what he said? What do you think about what Babadati, the vice president of the Labour Party, what do you think about what they said? Let's rub minds together in the comment section. Please, guys, I want you guys to like this video. Remember, we love you. If you love us, the only way you can show your love to us, don't just watch. Like this video comment your thoughts about this video, and share this video to all your platforms. Please really share. Above it all, subscribe. Keep on subscribing and take us to 100,000. We are just still there in that subscriber. I want you guys to rub minds together. Just I beg, subscribe. Just click on that subscribe button. It takes you nothing. It will not remove money from your account. It's just subscribe. Just like Facebook will say, follow me, follow me. If you follow person on Facebook, should be money not to come out from your account. You just follow. But YouTube don't call it follow. YouTube said subscribe. Just click on that subscribe button and turn on the notification bell so that anytime we upload new video, you will get notified. Don't forget, I'm waiting for you guys in the comment section. Until we meet again, stay tuned, Plan B TV. Peace out.